In the old days when comic books roamed the earth, you used to have to go to the newsstand about once a week or once a month to pick up the new issue. Now, if you want the latest information on Thor, you got to go to the movie theater every 2 years. This is Thor, The Dark World, another Marvel movie in the Avengers universe.
I had a really good time with this movie. I really love the look and style and feel and flavor of this film. I think Chris Hemsworth is as expertly cast as Thor, as Robert Downey Jr. is as our Iron Man. I think he really grounds the work and does a great job with it.
The Nine Realms erupted into chaos. Wars were raging. Marauders were pillaging. I had to put an end to the slaughter.
What the movie does is really kind of paint this cool portrait of science fiction meshed with fantasy, and I really had a great time.
I hated this movie.
Yeah,
I could not wait for this thing to be over.
I saw you were looking at your watch a lot.
Let's talk about the plot. So there's something called dark matter, which is
ether.
Ether. It's a computer-generated black cloud that somehow flies into Natalie Portman's character.
And it's in a lot of superhero movies.
And
I've
what
noticed,
it does is
it
makes your skin bubble underneath and your eyes turn black and red. I'm trying to understand this.
I know.
So Thor has to carry her to his world, which is a world that looks like Disneyland. All of this is total horse.
No, it's the story of this fiction, of this comic-based movie.
No less than 6 writers worked on this script.
Yes.
There's no singular vision here. So much of this is nonsensical. Maybe if you read the books, it makes some sense.
Anyone else?
I'll tell you, I did love this movie. I did have a really good time with this movie, but I'm invested, and I can tell that if you're not invested, this is a very dense piece of work to get into. But visually, it's stunning. I mean, I think there's some really incredible work in here. There's a lot of
so much CG,
a lot
so
of
much
CG,
crap,
a lot of matte,
clutter.
a lot of compositing, for sure, a lot of visual effects. But I love the weaponry design and the spaceship sequences. But it's a busy world, and my biggest problem with this movie is that it's so big. It's such a massive thing. We're talking about not just the destruction of Earth, which is usually the go-to for every one of these big epic movies, but the destruction of all 9 realms in this universe. Where the hell are the rest of the Avengers?
I've got this completely under control.
Is that why everything's on fire?
The only interesting story for superheroes in general is the origin story, and there's just not much to do of interest to the rest of the world beyond that, because this proves that theory out again.
If you're not into superheroes, this is a hard one for sure.
I sat down to this thing, I put my seatbelt on, I was ready to take off.
You weren't impressed by the visuals?
No, there's no art and there's no heart. Do not go see this.
100% disagree. Chris Hemsworth does some great work. Anthony Hopkins is solid as always.
Himself.
Rene Russo has a much stronger role this time as Thor's mother.
All of these people deserve a better movie.
And Tom Hiddleston is great again as Loki. Look,
this is a better movie.
You must be truly desperate to come to me for help.
And one of the big things about this movie, of course, is that they're always tipping off the future of the Marvel Universe. There's a Guardians of the Galaxy little teaser in here, and that is going to be a hard sell for people that aren't already 100% huge fans of the Marvel Universe. I really like this movie. This is rich and fun, and I think everybody does a good job with it, but it won't be for everyone. You didn't like it. What are you going to give it?
1.
A 1 out of 10.
Despise this.
8 from me.